Wrapping up the video with the scar. In my opinion,
you can even say that, you know, with what they.
All you gotta do is push it forward.
What's up, guys? Connor with Guns and Stuff, and today I'm out. I haven't even done any shooting yet. I don't know if I'm going to be able to, but that's okay. I want to talk about something pretty serious, and I see it sometimes with people practiced a lot, which is great, and other people practice not so much, and that's safety with firearms. This happened to Aaron and I the other day. We didn't get footage of it, but pretty much we were shooting, and he had his AR-15, and he had the bolt to the rear, magazine in, put the bolt forward, and when the bolt forward, the AR slam fired. And fortunately for us, we know proper firearm safety, and we know pretty much we know what to do. So luckily he had his firearm in a safe direction. If I was putting up a target and he loaded his gun and that happened and I was downrange, something like that, it could have been a way different day. We ended up having a really good day, but if something crazy like that would have happened, it would have been a way different story. So to kind of put it in my mind, and obviously firearm safety should always be on your mind. That should be the #1 priority when you're out here at a range, outside, showing someone anything. Safety is #1. Now, there's the 10 safety commandments, and I'm not going to go through all of them. I'm just going to go through a couple points that I think is very important. In my mind, the absolute most important safety precaution is to keep your finger off of the trigger. And I see this happen at the range, not all the time, not way too much, but just people, like, example, like, obviously this is not loaded, it's open, but people, instead of walking around like this, they're sitting there walking around like this before they're even ready to shoot with their finger on that trigger. And that just doesn't make any sense to me. That's the most easy thing to do. Just even if the weapon's on safe, fire, anything, loaded, unloaded, your finger's always off the trigger until you have your target acquired and you're ready to rock and roll. And we're gonna move on to the next one. And obviously, muzzle is always in a safe direction. And as you can see here, this scar it's unloaded. My targets are down there, so the muzzle's that way. You should never have it turned. You should never have it turned around or anything like that. Just keep it in a safe direction. Obviously, when we had that little slam fire, he was standing up and he had his rifle down, not at his feet, not up at the target, not up in the sky. He just had it kind of forward. So luckily, the round hit the ground in front of us. But yeah, stuff like that can happen, and it's crazy. You don't think it could happen to you, and it could. I mean, that's just the bottom line. So muzzle in a safe direction. Never, ever, ever rely on your firearm safety to the actual safety mechanism. Another thing, know what's beyond your target. That's very important. Know what's beyond your target. Fortunately enough, the place I shoot at here has a big hill, and I'll show you some pictures of that. It has a hill, and it goes back probably maybe 50 feet. It's just a long, big hill. So luckily, I have a hill like that. If you're at an indoor range or something like that, that's obviously designed for shooting. So there you don't have to really be as precautious because that's what the places are designed for. But if you're just out shooting and there's no backstop, and say there's a house down the road or behind the tree line that you can't see, you need to know that. You need to know what is around you. You need to know what you're shooting at, what your rounds can, because I mean, bullet, doesn't matter the caliber, a 22 can travel incredibly far. So that's just something to keep in mind. Whenever you're not using a firearm, make sure it's unloaded. That's very, very important. Not saying stuff can just randomly go off, which I've seen it happen, but not a lot. Just something to keep in mind. If you're not using your firearm, you're shooting, you still got a mag in, drop the mag, unload it, especially if you're at the range. Obviously, if you're carrying or something like that, it's a different story. But if you're at the range and you're with your buddies or something, just make sure that gun's unloaded when you're not using it. I can't stress that enough. Use the proper ammunition for your firearm. I've seen this multiple times at the range. People accidentally get sold a wrong caliber, or they say the wrong caliber, and they come in and try to shoot it, and they come out and they say, hey, my gun isn't working, and you look. Like the other day I had a guy, he had a 9x19, a 9mm Luger, and the place that he bought the ammo from sold him, I don't know if he said it or the clerk or the person just gave it to him, he got 9x18 Makarov, and he was trying to shoot that in his 9mm, and he was like, hey, my gun isn't working. He had the wrong ammo, and he didn't know that. Wrong ammunition in firearms is not good. I mean, things can happen that is crazy, and if you don't shoot the right ammo, you could damage the firearm, you could hurt yourself. So stuff like that, it can take a really fun, awesome day like what I'm about to have and turn it into a really terrible day really quick. Another thing is make sure, this is more of like if you're in the field or something like that and you've been shooting all day, say you drop your gun or something, make sure your muzzle doesn't have any obstructions in it, make sure there's no dirt in there, make sure there's nothing in your barrel. That's critically important, because if something's in your barrel that's clogging it up, that when you pull the trigger, all that pressure and the gases and stuff have nowhere to go. But the places they're not supposed to go, so they can, for example, like blow up the chamber or damage the chamber or bulge the barrel, stuff like that. So it's just really, I'm trying to stress to you guys, make sure that when you're out here shooting at the range, showing someone a gun, anything like that, you just have safety on your mind always. That's your number 1 priority. Finger off the trigger. Don't rely on your firearm safety. Actual safety mechanism to work. Muzzle always in a down range in a safe direction. Never point this at anything you don't intend to destroy. And that's just the way it goes. If you need to practice proper firearm safety, that is so important. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope it helped. And remember, finger off the trigger. Yeah, have fun shooting, but remember, safety is on your mind. Thanks for watching.